It's a holiday in the Holland countryside, a holiday in a rustic Dutch house, a holiday hosted by a strange couple, a holiday where something doesn't seem quite right. Speak No Evils, a Shudder original written and directed by Christian Taftrup, who did Parents and A Horrible Woman, also written by Mars Taftrup, who did A Horrible Woman. Apparently, one horrible woman has terrorized the Taftrup household for generations upon generations. She must be a fucking immortal. I'd watch that. That would be interesting. But nevertheless, those are the only names I'm going to attempt to pronounce because the cast members, take a look, there's no way I can pronounce them right. I'll just use the character names. So, the plot, such as it is, has a Danish couple, Bjorn and Louise, along with their daughter Agnes, meeting a couple while on holiday, in Tuscany, Patrick and Karen. And they have a son named Abel, or Abel, because different pronunciations, because different dialects. Abel has difficulty speaking because, well, he just has some weird speech issue. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. It's kind of vague at first, even though it gets revealed pretty early on. And after a number of, weeks pass, they get, an offer from Patrick and Karen. Hey, come up and visit us, and go on holiday. Okay, sorry. And come visit us at our beautiful rustic home. Okay, we don't know them all that well, but sure, let's fucking go. They seem nice, so they arrive. Things seem good. And then, slowly, layers are being peeled back on this family where maybe things aren't quite right. And they should leave. They have the opportunity to leave multiple times. But because plot conveniences and plot devices, they don't. And then things get really, really bad and go really, really south. And holy shit, they gotta fight for their lives. There we go. That's pretty much the plot right there. So, there's really not a lot to reveal about the plot. I'll talk about a few things and then talk about spoilers, but Shudder Originals are in one of two main camps with a sub-camp. The main camps are either they're really, really good and thought-provoking and goddamn tremendous, or just really, really entertaining. There are a few like Revealer and Salome and Glorious and a few others that have come out this year that I've really enjoyed. There are bad ones that I really haven't enjoyed. The Scariest 61st, to name one, and Watcher, to name another. And then there's a sub-camp where the movies have a few good ideas, but end up just being kind of okay, kind of middle of the road, even though they try to be, something more. This movie takes a while to set its shit up, and also it's very obvious where it's going from the beginning. Once they reveal something within the first 20 or so minutes, you're like, okay, I see where this is going. The acting isn't bad, the cinematography is beautiful, and some really good atmospheric shots. These are good filmmakers. I just think that this movie wasn't nearly as great as some people have said. Now, that's my opinion. This is the 136th movie I've seen this year alone that was released in this year. I watch a lot of movies in the last, 5 years, especially since the pandemic fucking hit. I've watched, about 400 fucking movies. And sometimes things just feel, kind of okay. There are a few good parts to this. But when you realize where a movie is going to go and it doesn't, try to deviate from that path and it becomes obvious, you have to, have something good happening. You have to have, something that drives you to watch this or drive you to see, certain characters do certain things. Oh, I don't know, not be goddamn idiots. At a couple points, Louise and Bjorn have opportunities to leave. They have a couple opportunities to leave. One in particular about halfway through the movie. Or just about halfway through the movie, where they end up, having to go back because, the daughter forgot her stuffed rabbit. Instead of getting her another fucking stuffed rabbit, they go back because she's so upset. Look, I understand. I love stuffed animals when I was a kid too, but, I'd much rather my parents be alive, and not be around some weird goddamn people. By the way, sorry, that's probably a bit of a spoiler, but you probably could figure out where this movie was going. So, yeah. Further proof that if you're going to go on holiday, maybe don't bring your fucking stupid kids with you. It sounds like I hate this movie and I actually don't, but it was more frustrating because people were just kind of idiotic and then people were, even though the acting wasn't bad, the characters were one note. That was the main issue with it. The singular focus kind of just wore down on me to the point where I was just kind of blah towards it. That being said, decent enough acting, good atmospheric shots, and it was well directed. It was decently written, But it wasn't. It could have been a short film concept, which I know I've said ad nauseum with a ton of these movies. But like seriously, one point where they could have left, and they just I had to go back to the goddamn stuffed rabbit, and then things really start to unravel, especially in the third act. So I'm going to get into spoilers here, but that's your warning right there. It's on Shudder. It's not bad, I will say that. There are certainly worse Shudder originals you can see, and maybe you will feel differently. But let's get into spoilers. 3, 2, 1, and spoilers. Okay, 1 is in English with some Dutch and Danish spoken, but at least they include subtitles because the accents are a little bit thick. So, what's the reveal? Well, the whole thing about Abel or Abel born without a tongue, well, or a small tongue, it turns out that Patrick and Karen torture couples that they bring over on holiday, and then they kill the parents, take the child for their own, cut out their tongue so they can't speak, and when the child keeps acting up, they kill them, and that's what ends up happening. They end up drowning Abel, and they manage to get Bjorn and Louise in this pit area where Patrick had taken Bjorn a little bit earlier to have some fun and share some drinks. And it's so obvious that Patrick and Karen are fucking killers, and they don't even go anywhere with it, but they don't even try to deviate from it. They are like so goddamn transparent about it. But Louise actually tends to know sooner than later. And you'd think Bjorn would, but no, apparently not. And poor Agnes suffers the worst fate because after Abel gets drowned, they decide to steal Agnes, cut out her tongue so she can't speak, to take her as their own child, and then they kill Bjorn and Louise. And then Agnes is all happy, swinging on the set, and then there are new people that are going to be killed, and more children are going to come around? Probably. That's probably what's going to fucking happen. I don't even care that the bad guys won. That's not a problem. It's just the thing was so goddamn obvious where it was going. I was like, oh, okay, cool. That all you got? Gets a C+. It's not bad. It's just not great. I appreciate what they were trying to do, though. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ricklin. I'll see you soon.